Congratulations, you have made it to the end of this mini-mester. It's been a quick 8 weeks, so congratulations on that. Let's go ahead and talk about your final exam due next Wednesday. So your final exam is due on March 2nd. It is a Wednesday, so please be aware of that. It's actually open right now, and I've seen a student or two taken the final exam already. So congratulations, there's a couple students who are done with this class, and that's fantastic. So these 8 week sessions can be a little bit of a challenge. If you found yourself overwhelmed, saying this is way too much work, I what is she thinking with all this work? Please keep in mind that this was designed specifically for students who want an accelerated pace. Some students actually prefer an 8 week pace. It's accelerated. They can get the work out of the way and then move on to other work. They take classes in 8 week increments versus 16. If you are one of those students who felt as though this class was way too much work, please go ahead and make sure that you're signing up for the 16-week courses, because this course was offered in an 8 week session, but it's also offered in a 16-week session. I actually teach both of those. So my students over in my 16-week class, I get no complaints from them about it being too much work. Well, I can't say no complaints, but generally I don't get that feeling of it just being overwhelming for them. But again, some students love these 8 week sessions and some do not. Let's go ahead and take a look at your final exam. Now, your final exam, as I already mentioned, it is open. Go ahead and go in there and take it. It is open for the entire week, and it will close on March 2nd at 11:59 p.m., regardless of where you are on that final exam. So please make sure you allot enough time. Don't come in Wednesday night at 11 o'clock thinking that you have 3 hours to take it from the time you come in. You don't. It shuts off at 11:59. So please make sure that you log in early. I also allow 3 hours for you to take the exam. I have been a lifelong student myself. I've taken classes online. I feel like I've been in college forever. One of the things that always makes me very stressful are these computerized tests. I actually would much rather take a test on paper, because you don't have to worry about things going wrong. You don't have to worry about a glitch or your internet or your computer shutting down or it updating in the middle of you taking a test, or a power outage. It's very stressful for me, so I can only imagine how stressful it is for you. And so that is why I allot 3 hours. You have 3 full hours. So if something does shut down, for instance, that gives you enough time to hopefully get that computer back up and running, or at least open it on your phone or something to that effect. Now, please don't take the exam on your phone. I said your phone. Please don't take the exam on your phone, because that's not conducive. But if you have no other choice, and that's the only option you have, then certainly go ahead and do that. We also have a testing center. If you feel more comfortable going into the testing center, let me know. I can go ahead and schedule that for you. Or you can go into any public library, anywhere in the county, and take this test on any public computer as well, if you're more comfortable going somewhere else. That way your internet's a little bit more stable if your internet is not. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at that final exam. So now what I've also done for you is I've created a PDF file. I was able to finally figure out how to do that. It took a little bit of an easy Google search. I got the e-publisher, and then I had to convert it into a PDF, but I was able to get that information. Took me maybe a couple of minutes to figure it out using good old-fashioned Google. But after I did that, I went ahead and uploaded that PDF right here in your final exam folder. Why did I do that? I did that because when you take this final exam, it's going to be a little cumbersome to go back into each study plan, each module study plan. For instance, if you have a question on recruitment or selection, you're not going to want to go back to the lessons folder, into module 6, into the study plan, and look for that information. It's going to be cumbersome and difficult to do that. So if you have the hard copy, that probably would be best. But you also have this e-version here, right below the test. I encourage you to use that. That will help you a lot. Let's go ahead and take a look at some sample questions. So it's 50 questions. It's multiple choice. It is open book. You have 3 hours to take it, and you just have one chance though. Let's go ahead. Oh, no, I didn't mean to actually open that. Pardon me. I meant to go in here, because this will actually show you some of the questions. So what we're looking at here is my what I see on my end when I'm creating the test. And so there's 380 questions total from a pool of questions that you've already seen this semester. You've already seen all the practice questions and the study plans, and then you've also seen questions on your weekly assessments. So these questions, I don't want to say are identical to those. However, they're probably very similar. Now, out of that 380, you will get a random 50. So what you take will be a very different test than what your friend takes. It'll be completely different questions and in a completely different order. I want to go ahead and just show you an example of one just to kind of put your mind at ease. If you've been doing well on the assessments all semester, I'm going to probably guess you're going to do very well on this too. If you haven't been doing well, I'm going to go ahead and encourage you to go through all the study plans, all the assessments, try to refresh your memory on that information. And I'm going to actually show you how to answer questions that you might not be familiar with. So let's go ahead and take a look. I just pulled up the first question. This will not be your first question. You may or may not get this question. You have a 1 or a 50 and 380 chance of getting this question. So we'll see. But here's the question. A sign that your small business may need additional human resources is satisfactory employee retention, a decline in sales, employee feedback letting you know they are overworked, or a decline in the quality of customer service and satisfaction. Well, there's a couple of different things I can go ahead and just scratch out right off the bat without even looking up this answer. So it says a sign that your small business might need additional human resources is, well, first of all, satisfactory employee retention. That's not going to be a sign you need more, human resources, right? That's actually going to be a sign that you don't need more. So we'll go ahead and X that one out. Decline in sales, that could be, but that could also be that you need additional human resources in sales or maybe better sales people in those positions. So it's not that one. Let's go ahead and take a look at C and D. So for me, it gets narrowed down to C and D. So employee feedback letting you know that they're overworked. That could be it. But just because an employee says that they're overworked doesn't mean you actually need additional resources. It could be that that employee is just not very efficient at their job. But we'll go ahead and consider that one. And then a decline in the quality of customer service satisfaction. So I feel like it's either C or D. I've gone ahead and pulled up the PDF. So this is what it looks like. You can see that I've already pulled that up. And so I can toggle back and forth between the exam and the PDF. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in, I did Control F if you're familiar with Control F. I'm going to type in additional human resource. All right, so that brings me right here, evaluating to HR needs. Now, there are 6 different areas that matched what I typed in. Let's go ahead and look at this first one. So right here, the learning outcome of wherever we are in the module or in the textbook says describe how to evaluate the need for additional human resources. Well, this kind of looks like the right area for me. All right, so many small businesses owners, they absorb the information. You can read this right here. I actually am reading this. If you're an HR manager at a small business, the first sign that additional human resources may need is a decline in productivity. So you can read right here. I'm not going to give you the answer, but on page 366, it's going to go ahead and talk about all those things. And long story short, a decline in customer service, it just stuck out at me. A decline in customer service or employees' inability to keep up with work is another flag. All right, so there we go. So a decline in the quality of customer service and satisfaction. D would be the answer. Now we knew that because you saw the little check mark. I'm sure you saw that already if you're watching the video, but I'm going to pretend that we didn't see that before. Obviously I pretended that we didn't see that prior to finding that answer. And so that's how you're going to go ahead and go about answering those questions. Again, you have plenty of time, 3 hours, use that PDF, open that up, and then you can toggle back and forth. All right. I wish you the best of luck. Again, you've already seen these questions, and so that's why there's not any sort of preparation. There's no study guide because you've actually been studying for this final the entire semester already. And now it's time to take it. I do wish you the best of luck and thank you so much for a great semester. Please keep in mind if something happens at 11 o'clock at night on Wednesday, there's probably a very small chance that I'm going to be able to help you out at that time. Just because of the fact that I don't work at 11 o'clock at night, I'm usually in bed. I'm going to ask that you be accountable for getting your work done prior to the due date. And if you feel as though there's a good chance that something might happen, perhaps take the accountability and the responsibility of taking the final exam earlier in the week and during working hours where I can help you if there is an issue. Otherwise, you're rolling the dice. All right. Again, it's been a great semester, everyone, and I do wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much.